Yesterday, we have discussed about text dimension and the settings of the text and dimension style. Now we are going to learn about this leader or multi-leader and about table. So let's go for it. Now suppose we have this. So why we are using this annotation tools already I have said in the last class. So we can use this multi-leader. So multi-leader can be used like pointing out for any particular part of your object and describe it. So let's go for it. First, you will select this multi-leader. This is the option, or else you can type M leader, or you can type the shortcut that is MLD. MLD is the shortcut, and then first point will be the leader arrowhead, and then the landing location where your leader will land, and after that you will type your text. Okay, so let's go for the text value. Suppose this is the uh, width width of the rectangle. Escape. Enter. Okay, and about all the text size and arrowhead size, we will change it later. So like this, we can add any other leader. Suppose this one is also the width. This one is also the width, right? So these two are the width. So no need to define another multi-leader, right? When we have the same thing, so we will not add another multi-leader, right? So there you can see, right? And if you want to remove any multi-leader, so there you can so this is as a single multi-leader. Right now if you want to remove any leader, suppose there is one leader there and that is length. If you want to remove this leader and press enter, so that is removed. Okay, just only the text available here. All right, so this way you can remove your leader. All right, so this will remove the leader line. Okay, now we see that we have this align and collect option. So for the alignment, let me just create some more uh, leaders over there. So let's click one leader here. Let me go for A, escape, enter, and there if you create anything like this, and there you go for B, escape, enter, and like that you have leaders placed in your drawing, but you want to align in a particular direction. So for that you have this align option. You will select your multi leaders, okay, and then you press enter, and you must have one particular multi-leader to align with. So I want to align with this multi-leader. So for that I will go align and I will select this multi-leader to be aligned. So if there are many multi-leaders, I will choose them which will be aligned. Then I will press enter to uh, tell AutoCAD that my selection is finished. Press enter, and then you select the multi-leader with which you will align. So select this, and now you see that with this you will align. All right, like this you can align it. Okay, so in this direction or horizon or the exact vertical direction you can choose. Okay, so there you can choose, and if you choose this direction, so as per that direction it will align. Okay, I hope you can understand how I'm doing it. Okay, so you can align exactly vertically, and you can click, and that is aligned right now. All right, now let me show you some settings for your uh, multi-leaders. Let's go for multi-leaders style. So that is the command multi-leader style, and there you have this modification. Come to this modification. Now let's talk about the leader format first. So the leader format general type is straight. You can make it spline. So this one can be as spline. All right. If you choose none, so there will be only text. So let's go for straight. And what will be the color so that you can choose? That is right now bilayer. For the line type that you set as bilayer, you can choose other line type like this one. Okay, let's choose this one, and you can go for this line type. Okay, so this way you can specify all the line types and the color, all the properties. And about the arrowhead, so here let's go for 40, enter. And about the break size, so you can go for the 37, 35. Let's go for 35. Okay, and let's go for leader structure. So there you see the maximum 2 points. So the first point for the leader arrowhead and the second point for landing. You can add more points like 3 points or 4 points, maximum leader points. And about the first segment. So what will be the first segment? As per that, you can put the angle. So you can predefine what will be the first segment angle. You can predefine it, so like that 90 or 45 you can predefine it, and for the second segment angle also you can provide. All right, so about the scaling part, you can specify the scaling. And now let's go for content. So the content type is m text. So the value you type in, that is m text. You can go for block. So I haven't discussed about the block yet. So this is like you have stored your data. So block is like you categorize your object like text or any line or any drawing object or any numerical value. You categorize them, and you store it as a single element, and you can use it whenever you need. So that is the type right now, block. And about the block options, so that is the source right now. You can choose anything like this. You can choose anything. So let's choose this circle here. And about the attachment, that is center extent, you can attach to the insertion point of that block. So that you can have. Okay, let's go for it. And about the color, so that is right now by block, you can choose red or anything. So let's go for by layer. And about the scale, that is 1, that is final. So that's how you can change the settings for your multi-leader style, and that is set to current, and that's you have right now. And that is when you will create next multi-leader, you will see like this is the first point you have defined, then second point, then third, then fourth. Then you will have that one tag number is there, that is the block. So that is right now variable. You can change the change this. So this is like a block attribute. Within that block, your attribute is stored. So your attribute default values can be the variable. So there you can change the value. Like here you can type 1. Okay, like this you can type 1, and can create any other multi-leader. Like this way you can create multi-leaders. So when you have your multi-leader type as block, then only you can do the collect. Then only you can collect. So let's collect it. Select multi-leaders first, second, third, and press enter. Now you can collect all of them together with the last one, and there you can see 1 2 3 you have. Okay, so if you need to collect like this, you can choose that. So for that, your multi-leader type should be block. Okay, that thing you can set within your multi-leader style. Now with this multi-leader you can create grids as well. So for that, MLS, go for MLS, and go to modify, and leader format. About the arrowhead, there you can choose either dot or like none. You can specify none over there, so no dot will be there, or else like this dot blank you can specify with the dot blank. Okay, so that's you can set, and there you can go for box or about hexagon, that you can specify. Let's click on OK, and let's set current, and suppose you need to change here about the scale for this block, so you can specify 10. Okay, so click on OK, and let's close it. MLD is the shortcut for multi-leader. So now let's create some grids over there. Okay, so let's before that, let me just go for one rectangle over there, and another rectangle with 250 over there, and now let me go for this center line. Select center line, center line. Select these two lines, and in between that you will have center line. Okay, so center line is a dotted line, you can see, but as per this view you cannot see the center line right properly. So for that we have one command that is called LTS. LTS is the variable. The full form of LTS is line type scale. This is the variable, and you press enter, and there you can put the line type scale factor. So here I need to increase it, so I'll put like 10 or 100, enter, and there you can see some like that. You can change it like 20 you can set. So there you have, right? So like this you can go for it. Okay, right, so let me move them. Sorry, go for move. Midpoint. Okay, so now what I need to place is grid. Okay, so my grid lines will be placed with multi-leader. Let's go for it. So here I'll place, I'll track one point vertical to this point. So this point is track, and about the next point, so there I specify the next point, and there I can specify this like this. I can specify, and that grid number is A. You can click on OK. Okay, right, like this, and there you can see, right, this is like this. So you can click on here. So this one, I think, because of that, so what you can do is you can select and go for its properties. Control 1 is the properties. So there what you can do is you can change the attachment to not to center extent, you can change it to insertion point, and after that I think you can change it. Okay, so about that, what we can do is we can bring it till here, and so about this one, let me go for the settings, multi-leader style, go to modify, and there let me go for the attachment to insertion point, and let's click on OK, and let's click on close, and let me create another multi-leader there. So let's go for it. Let me align from this point, and so about the second point, so there will be the second point, and here let's go for the another point, and then press, you can press enter if you don't want to specify another landing point, and then you will specify the number, tag number. Let's click B. So there you see, so it's being placed like this way. This will lengthen the landing. Just a second. uh, so this is not the right one. Control 1, let me just find it out. Let me check. No, it will place like this only. Okay, so it will place like this only, so we have to place this way. Okay, so we have to place this way. This way you can place your grids. Okay, so about the leader type, you can change it to spline like this. You can have a spline, so if it is needed splines, you can have spline. And about the source block, let me have hexagon. Okay, so that we have All right, so now about table. You can create one table and you can fill this table with all the datas. So about the table style, that is set to standard, so that is the default one. You cannot choose anything else. So about that, here you have option like launch the table style dialog. So this is the table style that is right now standard. We have the only one, and if you want to have another with different style, you can create new. And now let me go for this modify, and there you see that a general general table direction is downside, means the first cell is your title, and then header, and then data like this. You have the table direction. You can change it to up, so it will like this. Okay, so let's set down what is the default one, and you can change the cell styles, that is data. So these are the cell styles. You can change the cell styles, tile or header. You can change the cell style, so that is data. We are okay with that. And here you can see, right, this general properties are there. So you can change the general properties. You can change the general properties, the fill color. So let me fill this data. Okay, about the cell styles, and about the header you can also change. So for all the cell you will have these properties. So for this, let me fill yellow color or green color, so that you can fill up. And here if you change it to title, so for the title you can apply another color in this way. Okay, and the format is general format. You can change it like the currency format. You can choose currency. Okay, so the data type is uh, general data type, so you can fill up anything. Okay, you can be more specific like text or percentage or date kind of format you need, so that you can choose. Now about the label, so you can choose the type data, and the margins horizontal and vertical set to 1.5. Let's click on OK, and that is right now the standard one. And you set it the current and you close it, and there you see that the table style is changed. So you can define the table style, you can modify the table style, you can create the table style like this. You can create two different table styles, and you can choose any different one rather than just modifying only one table style. And about the insertion behavior, let's talk about this. So you can specify the insertion point, so everything will be fixed, like your column numbers, your column width, your row numbers and row height, everything will be fixed. And what will be the first row cell, second row, and all the other row, that is set. And you just have to specify the insertion point, and then you will have your table within your drawing. uh, and if you go for this specify window, so one like for column and column width, you will just specify either column numbers and column width as per the window area. It will fill up, it will adapt itself like how much width it will be as per the window area. And it's like the same. So uh, rows will be 10 rows will be there, and as per the window length and width, you will have the row height. Okay, so that you can choose. Let me go with this specify insertion point, and let me specify all of this at the initial, so like 5 and 10. And about this, let me go with the same value 250. Okay, and now click on OK, and here let's specify. So this is the, and when you first insert your table, you will see this text editor window is opened, and you can click on this close text editor. You can double click on it to again open this text editor, and you can write it down, all the text values. Here you can change all the sizes and font. So this is the same thing like you created text. So there you can add, and if you single click on it, so that means that cell is selected right now, and you can change anything there, like how you uh, do in your Excel, that you can do. So like after selecting it, you can insert any column to the right side. You can click, and columns will insert, and if you want to delete any column, so you can delete it. If you want to insert any row, there you can insert it, like there you see one row is inserted there. Okay, and about, you can match the cell, and about the alignment. So when you will write anything, what will be the alignment for that text, so everything is there. Okay, so you can edit your table, you can create your table, you fill up your data, you manage it. Okay, and if you create your schedules and all the data list within your table, then if you right click on it, after selecting it, select this, and then if you right click on it, and then you can export it. You can export it as a Excel file. You click on this export option, and you can export it as a CSV file. I hope this export data window is visible, right? This export data window is visible.
Yes.
Is this okay? Thank you. So if you only create with table, then only you can export it to Excel. Otherwise, if you create with line, this format, if you create with line and there you fill manually with text, you cannot export it as a Excel file. Only if you create with table, and there if you fill all the data within this table, then only you can export it as a CSV file. Okay, that option you have.
Sir,
So that is yes.
sir, what if we want to add any row without that color here?
That you cannot do, because you have set it in the uh, table style, right? So in that table style, you have to remove it, so that will work for all of them. Now let me just try it, like if you have this one, and about this, let me choose none. Okay, so here I can go for it. Okay, so here if you select this one, from here you can change it like by layer or none. If you feel none, so there will be no color. Select, and from here you can change it. Okay, and
Okay.
this is the style you already have, so you can choose it like the other cell style. Okay, so this is for your header cells. This is the header cell, or the title cell. Sorry, this is the title cell. So you remember that as per the cell we have each colors, so you can change as per any other cell. Like you, if you want to match your title cell with all the data cell, so you can match with. So this is the data cell color, this is the header cell color, and this is the title cell color, and this is for your whole table that you can have. Okay, all right, so this is the option. Now let me tell you that in your drawing you have created this door symbol. So let me create one door symbol. So like this, sorry, undo. Here let me go with 1200, enter. Okay, so that will be the center and that is the radius. Let me just trim it. This is the door symbol you have created, right? And suppose this door symbol you want to select it as a single object, you want to categorize it, right? So for that you need to save it as a block. You need to uh, create block. So for that what will happen is all this multiple objects. So this is right now a arc. You cannot say that this is the door symbol or this is the part of your door symbol. You cannot say it. It is mentioning as a arc. This is as a line, right? So for that you need to create a block. So go for this option or you can type B, enter. And right now you have this three option like retain, convert to block and delete. So retain is like this is the source. So what will happen for the source? So the source will be as it is and one block will be stored. And if you choose convert to block, so the source here, source within this screen will be converted to block and one block will be stored. And if you choose delete, your source will be deleted and one block will be stored. So let's go with that default one and click on this select object, select it first, all the object, and when is selection done, press enter or right click and then give it a name like door1 or d1 like that, and then pick point. So this is going to be the insertion point. So this point is specified, and then block unit you can change set the block unit. So whatever you set is while creation that is set. Okay, you can change it later, but before changing it, it is set to that particular unit. Okay, and everything is done, and here we have this option allow exploding. So you can click uncheck this allow exploding. So that means even if you try to explode, that will not explode and nobody can change this. Okay, so that you can uncheck. Right now do check this, click on OK. And right now this is, if you click here, and this is right now one single component, and here you see this is as block. Okay, this is as block. All right, now if you want to use this block within this drawing 2, so for that what you have to do is you have to save this drawing 1. So if you save this drawing 1, you can use this block in any other drawing. So for that, let me go for this save drawing 1. Let me save it in my desktop here. Block demo. Let me save it, and I'm going to save in this version. So you can change the version like 2013 or 2007. So in lower version that can be opened. Okay, but if you set to 2018, so lower than 2018 it cannot be opened, but upper version than 2018 there can be opened. And if you choose 2013, so lower than 2013 it will not be opened. So choose as per that version. So I am choosing 2018, and let's save it. And if you go to this drawing 2, there we have one Autodesk Design Center that work as a library. Okay, so you can either type ADC, Autodesk Design Center, or we have the shortcut that is Control 2. Control 2, and there you have to access it. So we have this, this is the store where I have all this. So now just go for desktop, this PC, and there I have this block demo, and this will allow me to have all of this, not only the block. From this drawing I can have the dimension style. I can I can take the dimension style from this drawing. I can take all the layers from this drawing. I can take layouts, line types, multi-leaders, table style, text styles, these things I can take it within my current drawing. All right, so now let me open this block, and there you see that I have this much of blocks. Now let me just take this D1. Okay, so I had opened this much of block, like dot blank, and all this block I had used for my multi-leaders. So these blocks are present within this block demo. So right now let me just open this D1 within this current drawing, that is drawing 2. So how you can insert it, just click and drag and release on your drawing 2, and there you have. So like that you can access it. So it will be very helpful if you create any block, so you can use it in future. Okay, so you can also separately create, you can create it as a separate DWG file. So for that we have WB, that is write block. So you save this block in a folder as a DWG file. So let's go for this W block, and if you already have created block and then you are going for W block, then you will be choosing this block option and then choose the name of that block. And if you are going you haven't created any block, and at the initial you are going to define as write block, then the same steps you have to follow: select object, then pick point, and then convert to block, or retain, or anything like that. Just you have to follow the same steps: select objects, select the objects, then pick point, and then give it a name, and then choose the file name and path. Okay, and what will be the insertion units, so that you set, and as per that you will create a separate, you will create this block as a separate DWG file. All right, so that you can go with the W block. Okay.
Sir, can we change this means dimension also for this block?
Yes, yes, we can change that. So I'm going to show you that later. So yes, I'll definitely show you that how you can change it. Okay, so we have created our blocks. Now we have this insertion option. We'll be inserting and placing in our drawings. So for that we have this insert, or we can type like insert, the command insert, and this window will be opened, and you can click on this current drawing. So in this current drawing you have this block, or whatever recently used, you will have all the recently used blocks. So these are the recently used blocks, not only in this drawing. So in other drawings, whatever we have recently used in AutoCAD, that is available here. So from that also you can choose, and you can go for libraries, and there you can search for your block libraries there, or else from any of this file like block demo, and there you will have this file, and from this file you can uh, access that block. Okay, so this is the option, and let's go for this current drawing, and you click on it here and drag it and place it on your drawing. Okay, so now about this scaling option, here you see that the insertion option, how it will be inserted. Okay, so how it is inserted, the insertion point you were specifying on screen, that is checked. If you don't go with this insertion point, so you have to specify the x coordinate, y coordinate and z coordinate, and at that point it will be placed. So better we go with this insertion point and we can specify manually. So that will be easier for us because we don't have to find out the coordinate values. Now about the scaling, so here you can go for the scaling. So let me choose the scaling. So about the scaling, we need to know about the about all the scale like RF. So RF is the main like your reference factor. So can anybody tell me what is the reference factor ratio? Hello. What is the ratio? Guys,
Ratio this yesterday we discussed that is now
right,
1:100
right.
or 1:10.
So that is the value, but what
Okay.
is the actual thing? The values can be changed. That I discussed.
So the ratio is now 1:1. I saw that.
Ratio is between actual length and drawing length. That is the
So
reference factor. That is the
now
reference
in your
factor. That is what I'm asking about. So the value is here 1:1. That is the value
1:1,
for
yeah.
this. That is the value for this. Like one is the drawing length, and your actual length is the one, and your drawing length is one,
Yeah.
and you will get the original value. Okay, so that is the ratio. So as per that, you have to set the values as per your drawing length. You will be setting your scale factor. Okay, so if you know that ratio, then it will be easier for you to set the scale factor value. Otherwise you cannot set the scale factor. So let me know that if I want, so what is the actual length right now for this door? What is the actual length? That is 1200, right? Right.
Okay.
And if I need this door to be 900 mm or 750 mm, so let's take 900. So what will be the scale factor?
So according to ratio, it is 1:1. It means when I will reduce the 300, then it as per drawing it will also be reduced 300.
Tell me the scale factor. I will not put all of this what you have said. AutoCAD cannot understand this. Tell me the scale factor. Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Hello.
Hello.
1:1.25.
1:1.25. How you get this number? Describe.
Sir, as we are using in drawing, if we get 1:50 scale,
Sorry.
so the drawing will increase.
Drawing will increase. How?
The dimensions.
Yes. So how it will increase?
Sir, it's 1:1 ratio.
1:1. So what will happen when you multiply 1:1 with your 1200? What will happen? What you will get?
It will be 1:1200, sir.
1:1200. Then what will be the value? then what will be the result? So you are multiplying 1200 with 1:1200. So what will be the value? Tell me. Hello.
As we are using 1200 mm as one unit in AutoCAD, so we use 1:1 scale, and if we decrease the length to 900 mm, so we use
Guys,
1.1
you
to
are
1.1.
not understanding. Guys, you are not understanding. Here you are just understanding about the value only. You are just taking the value. Don't take the value. Don't go for one. Here we come to one as per the values. So I have already mentioned that the reference factor is your drawing length by actual length. That is the ratio. And as per the values of your drawing length and actual length, we come like 1:1, or it will be 1:2, or it will be 1:10. Okay. So what is, now tell me, what is the drawing length and what is the actual length?
Drawing length is a 1 and actual length is a
900
1200.
mm. Drawing length is 900 mm. Don't go for a story.
Okay.
Just tell me directly. 900 mm is the drawing length.
Okay.
And actual length is 1200 mm. So the simple is 900 by 1200. So the scale factor is 0.75. Is that okay? Did you get it?
I get it, sir.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't go for the value. Don't confuse yourself with the 1:1 or any values. So you will come to the value with this ratio. If you don't know the ratio, so you will go for the random value like 1:1200, 1:1. So those values will not give you the right result. If you multiply 1:1 with the 1200, so what you will get? 1200. If you multiply 1200 with 1 by 1200, what you will get? 1. That is not the right result. You will not draw with 1 mm or 1200 mm. So you need to draw in 900 mm. So that is the result. So for that you have to multiply 0.5, 0.75 with this. Okay, that you have to understand that the reference factor, that is the ratio, and you have to put all these values, your drawing length and then actual length, then you will get your scale factor, and then you have to multiply with that scale factor. Okay, so when you are inserting this, you have this scale option here. All right, or else if you have opened that insert window, if you have opened this insert window, there you have this scale option. Okay, so you have scale for each dimension, x, y, and z. Okay, you can choose uniform scale, so then you can just put only one scale factor for your 3 dimension. Okay, so it will work in it will work in x dimension, in y dimension, and in z dimension. For 3 dimension it will work. So you can either choose scale and then you have to put all the scale factor for each dimension separately. Other you can choose uniform scale. So as per the requirement you can set either scale or uniform scale. So now tell me, it will be applied in x direction or y direction, or x and y both?
Both, sir.
Both directions. So I'll go for uniform scale, and there I'll put 0.75 and enter. Okay, now let me place. Okay, and you go for measure distance, check the distance from this to this. Is that okay? Okay. All right. So Now let me draw one window over there. So here, what will be the length? So the length is going to be 1500, and that is placed on my exterior wall. So the exterior wall thickness is 250. So at the rate 1500 comma 250, enter. Now let me go for this. Okay, and let me go for the offset value. So the offset, let me take 50 mm, or sorry, 25, 25, 25. Let me delete it and go for offset, same 25. And here what I'll do, here you see that this is the rectangle. So whenever if I select, this whole rectangle will be selected. It will be like this. It will be like this. So I don't need to. So I need just this side and this side for my offset. So for that, what I'll do, I will hold Control and then I will select it. Okay, so it's still selecting like that. Okay, so here it's still selecting like that. Here if I hold the Control, so it generally select only that particular side. So it's like you filter the selection. So right now it doesn't work for offset. So let me quickly trim it. Trim this part. Trim. Okay, sorry. Undo it. Now let me trim this part. Okay, so this is going to be the window. Okay, fine. This is going to be the window. So for that, now what I'll do, I will create the block, select object, select this object, enter, and what will be the name? So suppose W1 is the name, and you click on the pick point. So for the pick point, you can choose this point. Okay, so let's choose this point, and everything is fine. Click on OK. Now, what is the length right now for this window? What is the length? 1500, right? Now, tell me the new window length. Tell me any length. Tell me any number. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Hello. 1200. Okay. Okay, fine. All right. So now here I have this 1500, right? So the new door, that is my W2, that is going to be 1200. So for that, I have this, either I can go with this insert here, and there I can choose the scale, or else if I go for this insert window and sorry, insert, and there I have this, and for this scale. Now tell me about the scale. What should I choose? Uniform scale, or this scale, or what will be the value? Tell me everything. Anybody? Hello.
Uniform. It will be in uniform scale.
Sorry. It will be uniform scale. Okay, uniform scale, and then
0.8.
0.8. Are you sure? What is the ratio? What is the ratio formula? Tell me first.
Decreased value by original value.
Uh, It is the drawing length by actual length.
Yeah.
Drawing length by actual length. What is the ratio?
1200 by just a second, sir. 1200.
No, tell me the ratio. Just now I have mentioned.
1200 by
That is the ratio is between your drawing length by actual length. Okay. What is the ratio? Hello. Hello. Guys, please check your background noise. If there are background noise, please
Is
check
the
it.
drawing length?
I couldn't hear you. There are some network issues, I think.
Sir, can you repeat what was the actual drawing length? I
So
forgot
the drawing
it.
length will be 1200 and the actual length is 1500.
It will be 1.25.
It will be 1.25. So you see that 1.25, that means you are increasing the value. So how you did it? How did you get this 1.25?
Sir,
Describe
1 by
it.
1200 into 1500.
Why 1 by 1200 and into 1500? Tell me.
Sir, it's 0.8.
I had asked that person who told me that 1.25. Please describe it. How did you get that 1 by 1200 into 1500? Clear the concept. Guys,
So 1500 divided by 1200.
1500 divided by 1200. How did you get this?
So 1500 is the drawing length and 1200. Right. No,
1500
sir.
is the actual
1500 is
length.
the actual length and 1200 is the drawing length.
So it will be 1200 by 1500.
1500.
So that is
1500
the
by 1200. 1.25.
1500 by 1200.
Yes, sir. Drawing length upon actual length.
Drawing length upon actual length. What is the drawing length? That is 1200.
Drawing length is 1200. 1200 by 1500.
Yes.
So,
So the value is 0.8.
0.8, sir, uniform scale.
Right. 0.8 and uniform scale. So that is the confirm. Everyone agree with this, right?
yes, sir.
Now tell me that if I go with this 0.8, so in this direction it will be decrease, and in y direction, in x direction, it will be decreased, right? So for your window, do you need to decrease the thickness of your wall? Do you need to decrease?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, right? No, right?
No,
Sir, it's
sir.
1.25.
So we will go for this scale. Now tell me, in which direction? In which direction I need to go with 0.8, and for other dimensions it will go for 1.
only for x direction we go for a 0.8.
Correct.
Are you sure in x direction?
In
Yeah.
y direction.
How, sir? In x direction only.
Why in x direction?
Why? Yes, in y direction also.
Why in y direction? You have to specify. You have to elaborate. Why?
Sir, because y direction is showing us the thickness and x is showing the length.
X is the length. So
Yes.
in
Y
so
direction.
we are okay, y direction. So in y direction, as you said, y direction is the thickness, and we will be changing in y direction. Then our thickness will be changed. What do we need to change? Length or the
Sir, I think
thickness?
it will be changed in X direction, horizontal line.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir, it will be in X direction.
It will be in X direction. So in X
Yeah.
direction, we need to change only.
Yeah.
Right now, do you all agree?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure I don't have to change in y direction? Are you sure? Are you all sure?
Sir, I think we need to change in both the directions.
In both the direction. Why? You have to elaborate. Why do you think so? Don't go for random thought. Like you one random thought come to your mind and you state it. Don't go like that. You have to filter your thoughts. Why
Sir,
in
in,
both
sir,
directions?
sir,
Yes.
when we do the scaling of any object, we need to change in both the directions, right? If we scale the object, it will be changing in both the directions, in x-axis
Your
and in y-axis.
your answer is right, but this is not applicable for this purpose. You have to understand this. This is not the purpose for your answer.
And only X direction, I think.
You think, but you are not sure.
Only
Sure, sir.
Sure.
Sure.
Yes. So we have to put in X direction because here we'll be changing the length of my window. Okay. I'll be changing the length of the window. I'll not be changing the thickness for this window, right? My wall is there. This is the wall. Right. So it will not be changed. Changed. This thickness, will it be changed? No, right?
No, sir.
So for this drawing, it is not applicable for both direction. It is only applicable in this X direction only. So go for this X direction. Okay, put that scale factor. So you know how you reach this scale factor that you know, and then go for this, and there you place. Okay, at the right position there you place, and then you can check for the distance from this point to this point. This is 1200, and from this is 1500. Okay, I hope you understand. Now you are clear.
Yes.
Great. I hope you don't have any doubt. All right. Now I have some more to show you. Like we can put more actions to my block so that it will act dynamically. So that is considered as dynamic block. So let me go for this. For that, I will choose this door block, and I will open it in block editor. Okay, so here let me open in the block editor, so this is the option. This is the option for block editor. You can type BE for block editor also. Okay, so then you choose that block which you want to open in block editor, D1, or else when you are creating your block, B enter. There you have this option open in block editor. While creating, you can directly open in block editor, so you can check that and you directly open while creating it. So now after creating it, you can open it in block editor. So for that, go for this block editor and then choose the block and click on OK. Now this is the block editor, and here you see that block editor is opened right now, and I have this object in block editor, and here I can apply this much of parameters, this much of actions, or the parameter set. So parameter set is like this parameter and action is combined in this parameter set, and I can apply it. So it will like, let me show you one example with this flip parameter. So here I want to place at the middle of this. So hold shift or right click, shift and right click, and then go for mid between 2 points, this, and here I have placed, and this will be the axis. So from this point I will go vertically, and this is the axis, and then you place the label for your parameter. So let me place this label here. Okay, and this is the direction. In this direction it will flip. You can change the position for this flip. You can change this, like here you have placed it. Okay, and you can again place the flip parameter. So here you can go for it. This is the position, and then the next point that will define the axis. Now this will be the axis direction, and there you can specify the label, and now this, in this direction you can flip it. Now you have to assign this action. After assigning your parameter, after placing your parameter, you have to assign action. So as per the parameter, you will be choosing your action as per the parameter. Like after assigning the flip, after specifying or placing your flip parameter, you cannot go for this scale. So you have to choose this flip. Okay, so choose that, and then you have to select this parameter. So first go for this flip state 1, and after selecting your parameter, this action, then select the object. So this is the object and this is the object, and press enter. Okay, now you see that this yellow exclamator symbol is vanished, and you have this flip symbol there. Okay, now let me again go for this action tab, and there you have this flip. So when you will assign this action, this yellow exclamator symbol will be vanished. Now this is the parameter selected, and after that select this object, and there you can see it, it's showing 2 found. That means 2 objects are selected. Press enter, and there you can see you have successfully assigned. Now you can go for this test block, and there you see we have this 2. When you select this block, you will see this 2 flip symbol. When you click it, it will flip. Okay, so you can change your hinge direction with this flip. Okay, so you don't have to create. All right, now let me close this test block there, and this is the base point, right? This is the base point. If you want to change the base point, you can change the base point. So in parameters, you have this base point option. You can place on this point, this base point. You just have to place this base point like this, specify this as a base point. Right now I'm not going to do that. Now let me just change this alignment. suppose you need to go for the alignment, so there you can specify the base point for the alignment and what will be the alignment direction, so that you can change the alignment direction there. And you can go for the test block there. Suppose I have a wall like this, and there I need to place this wall. Okay, so if I go for this, so it will add up itself as I have placed that alignment. It will adapt itself, so I don't have to find out the rotation angle as per this wall. I don't have to find out, so it will save my time. Okay, close test block that you have added. Okay, so we have parameters like this. Okay, we have so many parameters, so I'm going with a few interesting parameters. Those are very essential, and you will be using more of this parameters and action. Now let me go with the visibility. Okay, so let me place this visibility here, and here I will change the name for this visibility. Let me go with this control 1, and there let me change one visibility to opening angle. So I will rename it to opening angle. Opening angle. Okay, and now you see that here this visibility panel is activated. So now let's go for this visibility states, and this is the visibility state 0. So now let me rename it to 90 degree. Click on OK. So this is the 90 degree right now, right? Now let's click on this visibility state, and here I will be creating another one. So for that I will create with like 30 degree, and you can go for like hide all existing objects in new state. You can hide them. All right, so now I'll not go for hide. I'll leave the visibility, and if you go for hide, so let me just show you. This is the one, and you can click on OK, and you see all your parameters and action are hidden there. So I don't need that. Let me go for this undo, and here let me go that same thing, 30 degree. I'll leave visibility of existing object unchanged here. Okay, let's click on OK, and this is the active one, and you can create others like 45 degree or 60 degree. So let me go with this 60 degree, and I will leave that here. Let me go to the 60 degree and go for it. So here I don't need these two objects, so I'll just go for Control C, and then I will delete them. Okay, I will delete them, and now you see some this one exclamation symbol is there because the object are missing here right now. Now what I'll do, or else what you can do is you can just change this rotation. Go for RO, rotate, rather than deleting it. You can directly rotate it, so like it will go for -30 from the 90 degree, 60 degree from 0. Now go for trim and trim this. Okay, all right, so like that you can draw, or else what you can do is you can draw it. Okay, so at the rate, what was the value, at the rate 1200 less than 60 degree, enter. Sorry, and then the circle, go for trim, tr enter. So it's not trimming. Let me just break first point. This is going to be the first point, and okay, there it's going to be the second point. Okay, so there was no limit, so that's why it was not trimming. Okay, now what you can do, you have to assign this object with this. So now, as because this action is assigned, but the selection is missing right now, so go for this action symbol, right click, and you will find out this action selection set. And if it is a new selection set, click on this new selection set. If it is you want to modify, then you go for this modify selection set. Let me go for this modify selection set, and let's select this object, select this object, select your object, enter. Okay, so new selection set, you select these objects, okay, and press enter, and there you see, and again go for new selection set, and you select all of this, enter. Okay, so that you have done, and here you have the visibility states. Now you can go for 30°. You see at the 90°, so at the 90°, the 90° I have this one, and at the 60° I have this one. Okay, so now let's go for 30°. So for 30° I have to draw, so for that let's draw line, L, enter. This is the first point, and at the rate 1200 less than 30°, enter, and go for circle, center, then the radius, BR, enter, select this object, then go for first point. This is the first point, and there it is the second point. Okay, so now here I think you have to assign it. Just check it before 90. So this one is the 90°, this one is the 60°, and this one is the 30°. And you have to change the flip parameters. So there you can go for this modify selection set, and you can choose this object, press enter, right click, modify selection set, choose this object, press enter. And now let's go for this test block, and let's test for it. And there you see this 30° there, and let's see if these are working. Yeah, these are working properly. There you can change it to 60°. Yeah, these are working properly, absolutely fine. Okay, so we have some more parameters and action. Okay, right now just practice this one. Okay, so this is called your dynamic block, and after changing it in the block editor, you save the changes, and here you can place in your drawing, you can place this D1, and when you select it, you will find out all these things. Okay, so this is all for today. I hope you found it interesting. Practice it, let me know.